My name is Jason Vandenberg. I'm the creative director on For Honor.
Jason, tell us what you're showing new here with For Honor.
So we are here and finally showing all of our heroes. We have 12 hero types in the game, 4 for each faction, all different types. And so we're revealing the full spectrum of our first offering there. We've got also, we're revealing our 5 game modes. We have Dominion, which we've seen, right? But we also have our duel mode is here. And we have a skirmish mode called Skirmish and a mode called Elimination. So Skirmish is a 2v2 and then Elimination is a kind of a last man standing style mode.
So talk about your classes. I know there's a lot of them in the game and they all play differently.
They absolutely do. So each class, each hero type is a combination of weapon type, armor, full set of animations that are unique to that character, set of combos, and then feats that come along with that. So each character is a kind of analogous to a full sort of third-person character in another game. We have 12 of those, and they all play like we have our Vanguard characters, which are very like they're very flexible and they can do a whole bunch of different stuff. We have our tanks that are heavier, right? And then we have our assassin characters that are quicker, faster, more sort of deadly, but maybe fall down a little bit faster. And then we have our hybrids, which are usually a mix of different components of that and give you more flexible options.
So what goes into balancing so many different playable classes as well as their faction, because they all play slightly differently based on the faction as well?
So the balance process, it starts at the beginning and it continues all the way through, until well after you've released the game, right? So we start by having sort of a concrete theory about how these pieces are going to play together, and we build up those characters as quickly as we can, get them into the game, and we start playing, and we find out what works. We've been playing these characters for quite a while, so we're bringing them out now that we're confident and they work really well, right? And of course, there's going to be ongoing tuning all the way through to the end, right? Because when you're doing a multiplayer experience, right? You always learn new things when we do an alpha test, right? We always learn new stuff about what our players can do. Their players are super creative, but so it's going to be an ongoing process, but it's one that is at the heart of this game. So
your game is very unique because it's not like a traditional fighter, but it's not like a traditional hack and slash like Chivalry either.
Yeah, we're out. We kind of sit between a bunch of different genres. Like I think of the game as kind of a shooter with swords, right? Is how I've heard it described, right? Because we have fighting elements. We have that sort of like that in the middle of the fray slashing attack. But our combat system is skill based. It's all about locking on and fighting with your opponent one-on-one. But then we're fighting in a 4v4 multiplayer environment where you really need to be aware of team tactics and where your players are, and you're choosing your different characters based on how you want to play. So we live at the center of a bunch of different genres, right? And we hope that space in the middle is kind of its own thing. But you guys will tell us.
I see a lot of room open for competitive play, such as like reading your opponent, making sure you don't just throw a move out so you're vulnerable.
So the game. So at the heart of the experience is that core fighting experience, right? We have our 3 stances, our top, right, left, right, and we create this sort of mind game when you're locked on, and that core experience of I'm fighting with somebody is really at the heart of what we do. We have that duel mode here today for the first time. We're finally showing you, yay! You can play 1v1, right? Which just gives you an opportunity to focus on just that, and that core experience is deeply satisfying. You've got a bunch of different moves, and it's really built to be 100% fair. Works great. And it lets you focus on just the pure skill of anticipating what your enemy is going to do, and the mind game of combat that's so crucial, right? Without any distractions, right? And it's an incredibly competitive mode. It's really when we see it on the floor, that's where the volume starts to go up on the floor, right? People start shouting and hollering, and it's pretty exciting stuff. So
Ubisoft is known for doing their research in historical, battles and stuff like that with like the Division and Assassin's Creed. What kind of research and historic stuff did you do for Honor?
So it's not really a historical game, right? Because samurais didn't attack Vikings and European battlefield. That didn't happen, right? That's not a thing. So we're like it's like you've stepped through the warrior looking glass into kind of warrior wonderland in a way, right? But each of our factions are grounded with the warrior cultures that they're inspired from, right? So all of our characters and all our fighting styles, we started with the actual styles. We started with the actual weapons, and then we evolved those styles to work with our game, right? So we're not here to create a simulation, but we do want you to feel the the essence of that Viking, like why do we love the Vikings? We wanted to fill all of our characters with that awesome sort of raw that is in the Vikings, and the same is true for the knights and the samurai both. So we just kind of start with history, and then we move right in as far as we can into that pure emotional warrior fantasy of being on the battlefield.
When does For Honor come out? What platforms will it be on?
So we're coming out on the Xbox One, on PS4, and on PC. And we're coming out Valentine's Day, February 14th, 2017, which is great because we've got co-op, we got split screen on the consoles there, and it's going to be a great date game, I hope.